Hey guys, this is Ray. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to have kind of multiple videos in one, if you will. I'm going to be going over a little bit of Collecticon Kansas City, some of the pickups, kind of how my experience was, as well as going over a PSA submission return. So sorry if I'm kind of hopping and skipping a little bit in this video because I'm trying to do several at once. So I'll just start with Collecticon Kansas City. Overall, I would say disappointing with sales, but overall the venue as well as the hotel is absolutely great. I would go again just based off of the hotel, the Lowe's hotel that's connected to the venue there, and the venue, it's just absolutely massive. The whole space was just huge, so there's tons of room to be able to walk around in. It's really nice. Unfortunately, you know, I don't know if my spot just didn't get a lot of traffic. I certainly had a lot of foot traffic. It just didn't maybe translate into sales. Maybe I had too high expectations going into this. Either way, I still had a decent time. You can hear I'm a little bit sick. I'm a little under weather. And during that whole show, I kind of felt like that too. So I think that also detracted from my experience. However, I was also very, very fortunate enough to be able to hang out with Zach, Gem Mint Pokemon a lot. Shout out Zach. Just an absolute fantastic person. His knowledge and just most importantly, his personality and just his charm to be around. Just a fantastic guy. Very fortunate to be around that. I get to hang out with Gary a lot. Pokemon Radar was hanging out at the section for a little bit. So I just really appreciated being able to spend time with those guys. I had some other friends come up, say hi to. Yeah, you know, I don't know if you know him, Alex, Nostalgianomics. I mean, he's all right. I'm not a big fan. He kind of downplayed recently in a live me complaining about PSA 9 I got on a Mewtwo, and he told me that he thought it was a 9. So now I'm just not a very big fan. I'm going to throw away the shirt that I bought. Anyhow, so I'll just jump into some of the quick numbers that I can remember because it's so hard. Sometimes you're selling so much. It's so hard to remember every single little thing. But first things first, I picked up actually 6 Charizards, base Charizards. I got 6 of them in total for $1,000 that I purchased, which was about 75–80% of eBay comps at the time. I thought it was a pretty good deal for both of us and the seller. I just always like having these at the table. So if I can pick up more, cool. Even if they're low numbers, I don't care. I want this card at my table at all times. I got them in a 6, 6, 3, 3, 3, and a 2. And out of what I have left, I have 2 of the 3s, a 2, and a 6. The other 2, this is important because the other 2 actually went into a trade. I bought a Japanese Moonbryon for $17.50 plus a 6 and a 3 of these Charizards. So that was kind of like the big boy buy of the Kansas City. I would show it to you, but it's already off expressed to PSA because I have to grab cash, Dan Catch-em-all collectible style. But yeah, so this actually worked out because I was able to close a deal with these Charizards. So, thank you, Charizard. There's that. I actually picked up 2 of these. This is just one of them. I sold a Japanese VMAX Gengar. I had it listed at $850 in my case. I think Jesse and James TCG was the gentleman who bought it from me. I'm sorry, I forget it off the top of my head, but I think that's who it was. We came to about $400, $450 in cash, and he gave me 2 of these boys. I think that was fair. He was clearly a big Gengar fan. He had already purchased a few other Gengar VMAX that day, but they were from Fusion Strike, and he just was really, really excited about the opportunity to be able to pick up the Japanese one at that show. So I was happy to close a deal with him, and you know, hopefully after I sell these 2 Charizards, which should be pretty simple, I'll be up a little bit more cash with that, but I was really excited to be able to close that deal, and he was very happy. I mean, every time I saw him the rest of the show, he'd wave as he was going by. You could just tell he had a very excited look on his face. Here's the remaining raw cards that still haven't sold on eBay, because I've had these up on eBay a few days now, and some of them have sold. I had an Aerodactyl GX that I picked up, a Leafeon GX, and as well as the Giratina V-Star, the Japanese secret. Let me see. I might have a few more in my to be graded pile list, in which I'll just kind of jump right into this here. This is what will be going off to PSA next. This is a balance of what I've already had here, as well as some stuff I may have picked up from the show. This is just some HRO, DC cards. Shout out Swammy. From my 151 break with Weedle, where I picked up the Gengar. So I got this from Kansas City. I got this from Kansas City. I got this from Kansas City. This came from a pack that Weedle sent me for free, which was fantastic. And of course, this was the hit that Weedle got for me in that box. Another Charizard. A couple of these, which I showed you in a previous video, but they're actually getting prepped now to go to PSA. I picked up this Gengar, which I think this might be like a PSA 4 or 5. But any time, I mean, you guys know now, by now, I'm picking up Gengars for shows. But anytime I can get this one to me, between this card and the VMAX from Fusion Strike, it's just such a good looking card in a case. And he kind of has a fart swirl here. Sorry, you know, that's kind of very inappropriate of him. But so there's that. I picked this up at the show, as well as these three as well. So overall, I would say, like, as of right now, maybe a little bit above breaking even with going to Kansas City, which is nice. I mean, for being able to go and have the experience, you know, I can't complain. Most people, some people just don't make anything at all. So it's better than nothing. But depending on what the Japanese Moonbreon does, it looks like it could 10, which I believe it's, I think, $4,000 to $5,000 in a 10. Kansas City could end up doing very well for me. I sold all my binders to binder buyers as soon as I arrived, as well as I can quickly kind of mention some of the bigger items that I sold. I sold a Dream League box for $800 while I was there. A Gengar EX PSA 9 in Japanese from Flight of Legends for $600. Other than that, it was a lot of kind of small time, you know, $50 slab here, $50 slab there, and turning into, you know, hopefully bigger and better trades. I also was able to sell, I had on consignment 8 dual lands, and I sold the 8 dual lands for $27.50. Here's the remaining dual land that I have left. This is already sold. I'm just waiting on payment. Underground Sea and Volcanic Island went to a friend of mine who wanted them. Obviously, the two of the pricier dual lands, but we did really well with these. And the gentleman who I sold all the dual lands to was just a super nice guy. I forget his name, but I appreciate that big purchase. Thank you. All right, so we'll go into now latest PSA sub return. So this is what it looks like when someone gets wrecked, in my opinion. So a lot of these cards, well, a few of these cards are going to go back and be regraded, but it's kind of like a, as Z used to say a lot, is what it is type moments. I'll start with the Gengar Web series, which has like the Misaki art. I know this was shown before in my videos, but now it's graded. It was given a 9. I don't understand the 9 grading. It's a very, very clean card. But that's fine. This will get cracked. It's going to get resubmitted. I want to get the 10 in this. It's just too good of a card, and it's worth the chance, especially for I was able to pay for it. Another card that should have probably got a 10 in my opinion. You can see centering here in the front is pretty darn good, and there's really nothing wrong with the back. Absolutely no whitening, no edge wear. So this one will also go back. This was actually, out of 25 cards in the submission, I had 6 10s. So probably the lowest 10s I've ever gotten from us. In fact, it is the lowest I've ever gotten. I think it's less than 25%. It's rough. A Miriam here, which this was actually a friend's card, but he just wanted to have it graded. There is a little mark down here, so I can actually see why that got a 9. Now we get into some of the Dream League stuff. This 10, I'll call it Erica's Vileplume. Another card, the Alt Art Inteleon VMAX from Fusion Strike. I think this is a really cool card. I mean, Inteleon doesn't necessarily connect to me, but you can see centering is really, really solid on the front. There's no whitening. For an English card, I'm actually surprised at the quality. It's actually pretty darn good. It's a little off center on the back, but that's not really meaning anything, but there's not really any whitening. Urshifu V, the Alt Art. This one, you can see it's a little bit more off center on the front. I didn't think it was that far off center though, but nothing really wrong with the back. Back's a little bit off center. I can see why that would not. Rodon V, which I actually thought this card was pretty darn clean as well. Steelix, a little bit off center on the front. 9. Coach Trainer, same thing, a little bit off center on the front. Nothing wrong at the back. This Gyarados full art from Blue Sky Stream. This might get cracked and reset because there's not really anything wrong with this card whatsoever. In fact, yeah, this is going to get reset. Statland. Socale Lunala. And this is a fun one. What you would think, sweet, I got a 10. And this is the fickleness of the hobby sometimes where you can see clearly, I'm not really sure why I got a 10, but we take it. I forget. I'm going to probably request PSA for some scans because I forget if this was how it was sent or not. But there's clearly whitening here. If they damage this card, I'm going to probably have to talk to them about it. Breaks in. Card's really clean. No whitening on the front, or no whitening on the back. Pretty good centering on the front. Metal cards, I didn't even know what to expect with these. I just sent them just to send them. I have no idea what the hell they would be looking for or what I would be looking for when it comes to these things. So they pretty happy to say they both got 9s, but I wasn't expecting much with these. Haunter. Can never get enough ghost types. This card's really clean. It's a little bit OC on the front. I was hoping for maybe a 10, but there's absolutely no lines or anything. So it's a really, really clean card. Excuse me. Articuno GX, another really clean card with some solid centering from Hidden Fates on the front. And there's not really anything on the back. A little bit off center here. This up. Articuno V with once again, some really good centering. And not really anything on the back. I mean, these cards are really, really clean. I don't know what they're necessarily looking at. And I don't want this to turn into me like bitching about PSA. This is just the break sometimes. Sometimes you just get a grader that you may not understand what they're looking at, and it's okay. You got to crack it out. But what sucks is when you get a card that, you know, it may not be worth sending again, right? It may not be worth your additional $15 for bulk, and now you're in at $30, where this might sell for $65 in a 10. So now you might as well just better off selling it as a 9 and moving on. This 10. This Gengar VMAX, also a 9. This one looked a little bit more off center. I didn't think it was horrible. The back, obviously, from top to bottom, a little bit from left to right, but other than that, it's pretty clean. And Reshiram Zekrom. 10. And Magnemite. As well as, of course, a Charizard. So there you have that PSA submission. And just want to give a quick, just for kind of document. I know I've showed this before, but I'm just going to put it here just one more time. This is stuff that I'm getting in that will eventually go to CGC to move to 10s automatically. I've been also checking them to see if it's going to be worth submitting to PSA. This one's close. It got a centering 9, but everything else 10. I mean, it's a really clean card. The issue is, for what you pay for this, as well as adding another, 15, 20 bucks in grading, can you get it back out of it in a PSA 10, or did you just go for the automatic 10 from CGC and take if there's any kind of value you get out of that? So, some quick, this is what's going to CGC soon to get some automatic 10s. Like I said, I think I've shown these before, but I figured I'll throw these at the end. This one, I think, this one has a chance as a PSA 10 for sure. I mean, it's a little tad OC in the front, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this yet. But if you like this video, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how I did. Let me know if you have any experiences recently with PSA doing something similar. Maybe I just had a tough grader. It is what it is. Like Dan says, you want to just grade 10s. And I tried to do it, Dan. So next time, maybe I won't fail you as much. But yeah, rough submission, but it's okay. We'll move on. I have a sports card show over the weekend. Hopefully there, I'll be able to pick up some more Pokemon and just keep it going. Anyhow, thanks, guys.